This week, we'll be going over the debut task in Escape from Tarkov. This is the first task that's available from Prapor, and it's usually the first one that people are going to do. It's not really that hard to get done, but there's a few little tips and tricks that will help you get it done quicker and a lot more efficiently. And now, let's get into it. So getting started, Debut is the first task available from Prapor. You can go to him in the vendor list and accept this one immediately after starting the game after a fresh wipe, whether it's your first time escaping or if you've lived in Tarkov for years. Of course, instead of jumping straight into this, I'd recommend going through and examining everything from the traders to get to level 2 and then grab the mechanic's first task, Introduction, which I've already got a video going over. Doing that first will greatly help you get the debut task done. This task is for killing 5 scavs on the customs map and handing over 2 MP133 shotguns to Prapor. These shotguns do not have to be found in raid though, so there are more options to get a hold of these other than just finding them in raid. The rewards for this task are 1700 XP, Prapor rep goes up by 0.02 15,000 rubles, a PP91 Keter SMG, 90 9x18 PM PGZH rounds, and it unlocks the purchase of the AKS-74U at Prapor level 1. So let's get into the first part of this, killing the 5 scavs on the customs map. And of course this has to be done using your PMC. There are a lot of areas on the map that are good scav spawns. Some I'd recommend this early on, and others I'd recommend not going to this early if you're not too experienced in the game. First, we'll cover the left side of the river. The first area that spawns a lot of scavs over here is the storage area. This doesn't really seem to have as many spawning as it used to in my experience, but there are still some that spawn throughout this area. The next would be the trailer park area outside of this, moving towards the river. You'll generally find 1 or 2 spawning over here. Then in this fenced off area with a large red building that we refer to as Big Red, there are a good amount of scav spawns. This is a popular spot for people to rush to, however, when they spawn in, so if you spawn on this side, watch out for other PMCs. Then moving across the river, we have this area on the other side of the bridge where scavs tend to spawn. Then if you cross the river on the right side, there are usually a lot of scavs spawning on the road by these trucks. Essentially all throughout here down the road towards the bridge, you can find scavs wandering around. Then through the fencing on the right side, you can have quite a few scavs spawning in the construction area. If you come up the stairs of this little building, you can actually get a decent spot to look over this area and pick off any scavs that are hanging out in between the tankers. Going up to the north, you have more scav spawn points along this road. This can be a little bit harder to spot them in because they tend to hide in bushes along the road, but they still spawn here. Then further out north, you have the 2 dorms. There are a lot of scav spawns up here, but it's also a very hot spot for players, so it could be dangerous going there if you're new to the game. Then going back down south of the construction area, we have a newer part of the map, where the big skeleton building is. Generally you can find at least a few scavs in that building, possibly even all 5 that you need. This is a pretty concentrated area. Then moving over to the right side of the map, over the train tracks, you have the old gas station area, where again, a lot of scavs will generally spawn. Then going under the little overpass, you come out to a paved area in the middle of the warehouses, where you can find even more scavs. Then further down the right side, there can be a few stragglers wandering around the roads or the grassy areas over here, but not nearly as many as these last couple of areas. Then on the other side of the road, we have 2 more main spots where scavs will spawn. Right here at the military checkpoint, if you peek through one of the holes in the wall, you will generally see scavs wandering around here or guarding up on top of the checkpoint. And then down the road even further, we have the new gas station, where a lot of scavs will spawn. This one is another hotspot that PMCs will be coming to quite often, and it's hard to navigate safely if you're new to the game. And now that you know your new hunting grounds, you can get that first part of the task done. But what about those 2 MP133 shotguns that you still need? Well, you're bound to find 2 of these on the bodies of the scavs that you're killing, but If for some reason you can't find any from them, or you have issues extracting with those shotguns, there are a few other ways that you can get them. The first being just go into some raids as a scav and look for the shotguns like that. You might even spawn with one if you get lucky. This is a bit of a worse method now than it used to be since we have scav karma, because you don't really want to be going around killing scavs when playing as a scav yourself. Now specifically in the spot that I said scavs spawn in past the bridge, there's a little shack where if you go in, there's going to be a shotgun spawning most of the time behind the desk. This could even be a 100% spawn rate. I haven't done much research in the actual odds of this spawning, but I don't think there's been a time that I've checked this little spot without a shotgun spawning there. The next option would simply just be buying the shotguns. If you complete the introduction task for Mechanic, you'll unlock the trader Jaeger, who sells these shotguns and is the easiest way to get them. If you don't want to go through the trouble of getting him unlocked before finishing this task, you can also go to Fence and keep refreshing his shop to find a couple of these shotguns from him. That is not very consistent, but it is an option if you need it. And that's about it when it comes to getting this task done, so you can then turn it all in and move on to the next one. We also have the community Discord open, which you should all join and come chat about achievement hunting or just hang out with some people in the community. And of course, we have YouTube memberships now, so if you want to support the channel further, get access to custom emotes to use in the comments, and have your name featured in a credit section at the end of the videos, go ahead and join that now. And as always, if you liked the video or found it helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below with what games you'd like me to cover next.